Hello and a very warm welcome to all the learners and viewers who are watching us in today's session. I am Dr. Gitika S. Johri, faculty at School of Vocational Education and Training, Indira Gandhi National Open University. Learners, as you all know, we have been discussing the course on secretarial practice, which is also a part of the program on Diploma in Modern Office Practice. Our today's session is a continuation of my previous session, wherein we have been discussing the topic on sources of information, which we have tried to cover in two parts, part 1 and part 2. Now, taking the discussion forward, let us see what all we have covered so far in this unit or topic. Now, if you see, we have divided the entire unit, that is sources of information, in two parts. Till now, in part 1 of the session, we have covered the following topics. Firstly, human beings as a source of information, then reference material, which is another source of information, wherein we have discussed about dictionaries, we have talked about thesaurus, we have talked about encyclopedia, we have also discussed directories. Then we have also taken timetable, which includes your railway, airway and roadways, and of course the tourist information guides. So these are the different kind of reference materials which we have discussed in our last session as a source of information. Now in our today's session, which is part 2, we will learn the following topics. We will take up the other two reference books, which are Ready Reckoners and Office Manuals. Then we will also try and understand media, which is another important source of information. We will talk about internet. We will also discuss the government reports and notifications. And lastly, we will also try and take up right to information as a tool to get information from public authorities. So learners, let us begin with the next reference material, which is Ready Reckoners. Now, as the name suggests, it is a booklet which provides ready solutions to the nearest approximate accuracy of the calculations of different types, which consume much time in case if it is done individually. It provides ready solutions to the various calculations like log, anti-log, square root, under root, calculations of interest on day-to-day basis, various types of income tax calculations, calculations of different rates, and similar other solutions which are helpful in day-to-day running of the business. Now learners, we know that since all the calculations are not found in one reckoner, so obviously there are separate ready reckoners which are available. Maybe they are available for income tax purpose, they are available for rate of return interest, etc. Now how are ready reckoners helpful to us? So these are some of the ways we can say that they are helpful in the following ways. Firstly, they increase the efficiency of the employees. It saves time and energy. The information is available at a very low cost. It increases accuracy. There is uniformity which is maintained. Repetition can be avoided. It reduces monotony. It helps in satisfying the customer by increased accuracy in calculation, helps in planning and other managerial decisions. Now learners, when we are learning about the Ready Reckoner, we also need to know about yearbook. One of the authors, William Kurtz, has defined yearbook as an annual compilation of data and statistics of a given year. Another definition of yearbook, how it is defined in terms as an annual volume of current information in descriptive and statistical form, sometimes limited to a specific field. A yearbook provides brief or concise information on a multitude of topics and is the ready reference tool yielding quick results. It has been defined as an annual volume of correct information. It aims to cover activities which have taken place during a period of 1 year. Sometimes it is limited to a particular subject, country or even region. The term yearbook is used to cover two types of annual publications, namely almanacs. What are almanacs? They are digests of correct information, and then of course yearbooks, which are annual reviews of world history. Now learners, after having understood about the ready reckoners, what is the purpose basically? Of course, we have discussed ready reckoners. Now, what is the purpose of yearbook? Since we are discussing yearbook, we need to know what is mainly the purpose of an yearbook. Yearbook is consulted for relatively recent and up-to-date information on a particular subject. It is convenient source of all kinds of statistical information. In addition to supplying facts and figures, they also cite source of information which provides additional information. Now, an example of an yearbook is the Britannica Book of the Year. Now learners, now after having completed the reference material where we have discussed about ready reckoners, now the last reference material which we are going to take up is the office manuals. Now what is an office manual? An office manual is an authoritative guide to the office organization. It is a source of information which is essential for the performance of office work. It can be in the form of a book or a booklet, and it contains information on operational office systems and procedures, executive decisions, organizational policies, etc. for the benefit of the official staff. Now, if the office employees are supplied with the copies of office manual, in that case they don't have to approach their superior and colleagues again and again for any necessary guidance, instruction and decisions. Of course, with the help of this office manual, they would also not cause any interruption of work and would not waste their time and also that of their executive in getting information and clarification, since with the help of office manual, everything is there on their desk. Office manuals are used not only to fix the responsibility for the performance of office job, but also to set up procedures for the performance of all jobs in the organization in a standardized manner. Since instructions, rules and regulations are written down for each employee, a defaulting employee can be held responsible for not following them. Now, obviously, we would all want to know what are the contents of an office manual. Office manual, it generally contains firstly general information like the name, address, telephone number, etc. of the company, its departments and branches, the nature of the business of the company, its organizational structure, and the name, address, telephone numbers of its executives who are working in that organization. Then coming up to the next content of office manual, it gives you the rules and regulations regarding the office hours, the kind of salary structure, the medical benefits, the retirement, layoff, etc. Another kind of information which is available in the office manual is the organizational structure that gives an idea about the organizational relationship, that is executive relationship as well as relationship between the different departments. Apart from that, the other kind of informations which are available in the office manual is with respect to restroom, your canteen facilities and so on. Then also it also contains instructions which would be that in the case of accidents or some kind of serious illness. So that kind of information is also provided in the office manual. Then office manual also talks about the organizational policies, which include the policies regarding the training and development programs for staff. See learners, we all know that for upgradation of knowledge, certain kind of training and development programs are needed for the staff, which may be as the case may be some faculty development programs, so that they are aware of the latest knowledge or the latest updates which is going on. So to keep them updated with all the different rules, regulations, policies, we need to have certain training program and we need to develop programs for the staff so that they are quite updated and they know what is all going on. Then job description of all the employees is also mentioned in the office manual. That is all the employees who are working in the organization in whatever capacity they are working, in which department they are working. So all job related information related to a particular employee is all given in the office manual. Then of course office manual also talks about appendix, which contains the various forms which are used by different departments, like it can be a leave application form, it can be a provident fund advance form, it can be a vehicle advance form, then it can be your leave travel allowance also. It can be, your medical related forms. So many different kind of forms are available in the office or the different departments, which are already provided in the office manual. What are the advantages? We have understood what are the contents of an office manual. Now we need to understand what are the advantages of office manual. An office manual is an aid at the time of training of new employees because it provides them readily available information about the established systems, procedures, and duties existing in the organization. Another advantage of office manual is that everyone gets an idea of the responsibility and the authority of office job and its proper relationship to other jobs in the organization. So learners, we have completed reference material also as a source of information. Now the last source of information is media. You all know we have discussed human beings, we have discussed reference material, and now we will take up the last source of information, which is media. In general, the term media and mass media are used interchangeably and refer to means of communication which are used to provide information to a large audience. Example can be television, radio, newspaper, etc. The term is also used as a collective noun for press or news reporting agencies. Now, learners, during the recent past years, we can see that the scope of media has expanded to the computer world as well, as it covers the internet media, that is like blogs, your message boards, podcasts, and video sharing, etc. All these modes of information focus on current issues of concern to all the sectors of the society. Now, utilization of mass media can be divided into three categories. So here we will be talking about how mass media is utilized. So we have categorized it majorly into three activities or three categories. First is entertainment. Entertainment would include your books, your films, your art, drama, music, videos, audios, video games, etc. The next kind of category which talks about utilization of mass media is promotion or advocacy, which will include your advertising, your marketing, propaganda, public relations, and political communication. Mass media can be used for promotion of social purpose or for business purpose advocacies, because many times we see that we do require a lot of advertising and marketing for any kind of service or any kind of product. So for that, mass media, in case of mass media, promotion or advocacy is the way it can be utilized through mass media. Then the last category is public announcements. There are certain important announcements which are made by the government, semi-government, or private organizations for awareness of general public, which is very significantly used in context of media. So we can say that public announcements also play a very important role as far as mass media is concerned. Though learners, we can see that the first type of utility has its own significance in its own area, like because it primarily deals with film industries, your entertainment industry, then their publication houses, music dealers, etc. But when we talk about the second and third type of category, that is your promotion, advocacies, and public announcements, they are more useful for general business organizations. Now, having discussed about the different categories of mass media, now we need to understand the different forms of mass media. So basically, mass media, it has been divided into primarily two categories. The first is the traditional form of media, which includes publications, and in publications we will be discussing about books, about magazines, periodicals, and newspapers. And when we talk about the second format of mass media, which is in the electronic form, here we will be discussing about audio video broadcasting through television, radio, and internet. So these forms of media are discussed in the following sections, and they can be referred to as per the need of the organization or individual for the specific information. Let's begin by learning the traditional form of media, that is publications, which are basically in the form of books, magazines, periodicals, and newspapers. Let us understand what is publishing. Usage of print media or electronic media for making information available for public view is known as publishing. Earlier learners, only the print media was the only means to publication, but with the occurrence of computerization and information technology, scope of publishing has expanded to the digital and electronic means like websites, blogs, and other means available on internet. Now, the various forms of publications, we are all aware of, but still we will try and understand what are the different forms of publication. First is books. We all know what books are. So basically, when we have to talk here in terms of media, basically it is a collection of information or knowledge in the form of text written on sheets of paper, parchment, or other material bound together along one edge within covers. The invention of printing led to the modern form of books which we see today, and with the passage of time, printing has replaced the ancient method of knowledge transfer in person to transfer of knowledge through books. Books on the basis of content, again, it can be divided into fictional and non-fictional categories. What are the fictional books or what are the fiction books? Basically, fiction books are based on fictitious stories with the basic aim of entertainment. They are totally entertainment based, but at the same time, they also give one or another important message to the society. Then talking about the non-fiction books, they include all kind of reference books. They have textbooks and other knowledge providing books on science and technology. They can be books related to education. Then there can be historical books. They can be mythological books. They can be books of hymns. They can be prayer books, and so on and so forth. So non-fiction books include all these kind of books. Then, when we consider the format, a book can be in the printed form or it can be in the form of e-book. What is e-book? E-book is a digital form of a book publication which is published by and readable on computer or any other digital devices. The e-book may be equivalent to the conventional printed book or can be born and maintained in digital form only. For example, learners, when we are talking about our IGNOU's self-learning material, we have it in the digital form. It is even available on your mobiles. So the mobile also, if you download the app, which is IGNOU e-content app, it is available on the Play Store. From there you can download, and then the entire self-learning material will be available for you on your mobile. So these are different kind of digital devices from where you can access different kind of materials or books. Learners' books are published by the publishers and brought into the market for the view of general public by distributors or the publishers themselves. In the modern age of information technology, one can get information about any book on the click of a mouse on internet, which is explained in the next session. However, information about printed books may be got from the catalog of various publishers. Also talking about, when we discussed about that book can be accessed, any kind of information can be accessed on the click of the mouse on internet. Our IGNOU e-content that app, basically we talked about e-content app, which is a mobile app. Then there is eGyan-Kosh, which is the repository of all the self-learning material. If you click that also, you will get the entire self-learning material which is available in the soft copy format. So basically you can see our self-learning material is also available in eGyan-Kosh, where you can get it accessed through internet, and maybe just on the click of the mouse, on the computer itself, you can see it there. And secondly, as I talked about, even on the mobile, it is available. Now coming to magazines. We all are aware about magazine. So basically magazine is a periodical publication which can be in the form of a book or it can be in the form of a newspaper containing current information in a particular sphere. Examples of magazines, like we have the Business Today magazines, we have the India Today magazines, which primarily covers business information. Then we have film magazines, which covers news primarily from the film industry. Then there are magazines which are published weekly, they can be published fortnightly, can be published monthly or quarterly with a date on the cover. They are usually bound with soft cover and are printed on a glassy, attractive paper. Magazines cover advertisements as well as information. Therefore, we can say their cost is covered through two means, that is income from advertisements and the cost of circulation. So they are less costly in comparison to periodicals as discussed. Magazines can be classified into two categories. First kind is general magazines, which basically try to cover contents which are of general interest for general public. Then we have certain kind of special magazines covering the interest of some special groups like women, science, business, sports, etc. Now, as a student of office management and secretarial practice learners, you are advised to refer the latest office magazines, related magazines, so that they can cover the area of interest in which your organization deals with, apart from the magazines covering current general knowledge issues. Then comes periodicals. Periodicals are special publications which provide information on specific areas like scientific, artistic, academic, etc. They are subscription based only and are more expensive because they have very little or no advertising. These have narrow circulations because they are subscribed by few people who are involved or have special interest in these specific areas. Then comes newspaper. We are all aware about newspapers. So basically, it is a publication which provides you with the latest news and information along with advertisements for business products and services as well as social cause promotions. Current information which is required by all walks of life is covered by newspapers. The current information provided by the newspaper is more relevant than any past article published in a book. We can say that learners, the newspaper is usually printed on a very low cost paper called newsprint. The most number of newspapers are published daily. However, there are some kind of newspapers like employment news which are published weekly. But nowadays learners, we can see that the electronic version of newspaper is also available on the internet. The information provided by newspaper actually informs business houses about the daily changes which are taking place in the business environment. Important national as well as international news, any kind of political change, important government decisions, policy matters, changes in any rules and regulations, latest trends, requirements of the society, Sensex, business and sports all are covered by print as well as digital media. A successful office professional should be aware about his surroundings. One should go through important news of his or her field on daily basis. Not only news, but also, tenders and quotations are invited by various government and non-government organizations through newspapers and periodicals. So organizations, learners, they prefer employees who take interest in all the dimensions of business which help them in expanding the business. So learners, I would like to give a break to this session and I will continue with the next form of media, which is the electronic forms of media, which has audio video broadcasting through TV, radio and internet in our next session. And then we will also be taking up the government reports and notifications, which are another important source of information, and we will also discuss and explain you the right to information as a tool to get information from public authorities. So to sum up learners, I hope you have enjoyed today's session as we have understood the other two reference books which are Ready Reckoners and Office Manuals, and we have also tried to cover media, which is the last source of information, wherein we have covered the traditional form of media, which includes publications in the form of books, magazines, periodicals and of course newspapers. So as said learners, in our next session, that is part 2B, we will cover electronic form of media, that is audio video broadcasting through TV, radio and internet. We will also discuss government reports and notifications as another important source of information, and of course right to information as a tool to get information from public authorities. In case you have any queries, you may please write to us on our email address, which is gitikajori@ignu.ac.in. Thank you learners.